How North Korean leader Kim Jong Un became one of the world's most feared dictators. North Korean leader Kim Jong Un is regarded as one of the world's most repressive leaders. Despite his high-profile career, there is relatively little known about the reclusive 39-year-old. Here's what we do know about his life, and that of his family. The current head of a dynasty that's ruled North Korea since the 1950s, Kim Jong Un took power at a young age and has ruled with an iron grip. Between fear of nuclear annihilation, brinkmanship, and ongoing tensions with South Korea and the US, Kim has kept a firm hold on North Korea, with his people given very few freedoms. Meanwhile, after having the most tense, heated exchanges with a US commander-in-chief in his country's history, Kim then met with President Donald Trump twice. Over the years, there have also been speculation about Kim's health, and intense speculation over who his eventual successor will be. But despite all this, relatively little is known of Kim, though a 2019 book called The Great Successor does give some tantalizing details of his childhood. Here's what we know about Kim, and how he became one of the world's most intimidating dictators. Kim Jong Un was born on January 8, 1982 or 1984. Kim's parents were future North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il and his consort, Ko Young-hee. While Kim Jong-un's official birth year is 1982, various reports suggest that the year was changed for symbolic reasons, linked to being 70 years after the birth of Kim Il-sung and 40 years after the birth of Kim Jong-il. During this period, North Korea was ruled by great leader Kim Il-sung, the current ruler's grandfather. Then it was off to Switzerland to attend boarding school. He lived in the suburbs with his aunt, Ko Young-suk, his uncle Ri Gang, and their 3 children. According to Anna Fiffield's book, The Great Successor, The Divinely Perfect Destiny of Brilliant Comrade Kim Jong-un. He had a sense of humor, got on well with everyone, even those pupils who came from countries that were enemies of North Korea. Another former classmate told the German newspaper Welt am Sonntag. But others painted Kim as an unremarkable boy who was bad at school and lashed out at others. According to Fiffield's book, classmates said Kim was embarrassed to answer questions in class and frequently lashed out because he struggled to speak in German. Kim Jong-un loved basketball and idolized Michael Jordan. After school in Switzerland, Kim returned home for military schooling. Many North Koreans see Kim Jong-un as a youthful version of great leader Kim Il-sung. After his father died, Kim Jong-un was quickly declared supreme leader of North Korea. When Kim Jong-il died of a heart attack on December 17, 2011, the young Kim Jong-un inherited the world's 4th largest military and nuclear arsenal and absolute control over North Korea. He took over ahead of his older brother Kim Jong-chul, whom their father thought was effeminate and weak. Some initially believed that Kim Jong-un's aunt and uncle were actually calling the shots. But at the end of December 2013, Kim Jong-un had his uncle and his uncle's family executed, apparently in a bid to stop a coup against his rule. Following his uncle's execution, there were reports that Kim Jong-un continued to purge the rest of the uncle's family. He's married to a former cheerleader and may have 3 kids. Kim Jong-un lived out a childhood fantasy when former Chicago Bulls star Dennis Rodman visited. Kim Jong-un has continued to be belligerent with South Korea and the West throughout his rule. In 2013, North Korea conducted its 3rd ever nuclear test and its first under Kim Jong-un. The assassination of Kim's half-brother Kim Jong-nam in Malaysia led to a global investigation into North Korea's involvement. In the Trump era, conflict with North Korea reached a new high. Shortly after taking office, President Donald Trump reportedly labeled North Korea the single biggest threat to the U.S. Breaking with former President Barack Obama's attempts at diplomatic negotiations via strategic patience, the Trump administration started demanding North Korea's immediate denuclearization and hinted at the possibility of a preemptive military strike. But then 2018 ushered in the possibility of peace on the Korean peninsula. A secret trip to Beijing in March 2018 marked Kim's first known trip outside of North Korea since becoming supreme leader in 2011, and a historic departure from years of deteriorating relations with China. Kim has continued his country's close relationship with China throughout his rule. After a fiery start, relations between Trump and Kim softened to suggest a new era for the two countries. But many experts were wary that North Korea wasn't held to strict, specific requirements to denuclearize. Trump announced during his 2019 State of the Union address that he and Kim would meet in Vietnam for a second summit, and remained optimistic about Kim's intentions. Ahead of Trump's arrival to the summit, reports again turned to Kim's mysterious habits and travel logistics. Kim was spotted smoking a cigarette in rural China during his nearly 3-day, 2,000-mile train journey to the summit, in a rare, candid glimpse of the leader standing with his sister and an aide nearby. But the second summit largely ended in failure. Trump and Kim remained amicable. In April 2020, Kim was widely rumored to have undergone heart surgery that left him gravely ill, with some reports even saying he had died. All reports on the leader's health remain unconfirmed, but that didn't stop reporters from raising questions about the North Korean line of succession. Shortly after President Joe Biden's inauguration, Kim called out the U.S. as North Korea's main enemy. Later in the year, he ordered a crackdown on Western fashion. In May 2022, Kim Jong Un announced North Korea's first COVID-19 outbreak. In 2022, Kim debuted his daughter, the first of his children to be introduced to the public. Kim appears to be lining her up to be his successor. Kim Jong Un disappeared for 36 days at the start of 2023, abruptly reappearing in February. However, after 36 days out of the public eye, Kim attended a meeting with military officers on February 6, 2023, during which he urged his country to prepare for war, Insider reported. 2 days later, he attended a military parade in Pyongyang, which included the country's largest ever display of ICBMs. Around a dozen long-range ICBMs were displayed at a military parade in Pyongyang, attended by Kim Jong Un, his daughter, and senior military officials. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on future videos.